It's pretty good. I mean, the top 2%. For now. Alright, welcome back to Montreal by night. I will. We were going through. What was it again? Oh, the widows. And we did the rose, creamy jade, and now I believe we're going to do Black Lotus. So, Black Lotus, from her former name Nina Barker, was the daughter of a renowned biblical scholar. Her father traveled the world teaching and researching, often neglecting his daughters in the process. Nina spent her childhood years in boarding schools and a summer with her father, away from other children. When she turned 18, her father sent her to Europe, where she stayed in the best hotels and out of her father's hair. Nina tried desperately to attract her father's attention with suicide attempts, middle-aged lovers, and drugs. But nothing turned his eye from his books. One night in Amsterdam, a serpent of the light found her nearly dead after having been raped in a dark alley. The serpent was so impressed by her degradation that he embraced her, performing a creation rite in the basement of an old house that was used as a morgue during World War II. Nina went on to become one of the cruelest, most militant Sabbats in Amsterdam. Her first action as a vampire was to track down her father and present herself as the monster she had become. Her father tried to use his faith to drive her back, but she dominated him into forgetting his precious religion. That's a good way to do it. Over the following nights, Nina carefully stripped every shred of information from her father's memory. She left him an empty and hollow man. In the early 80s, Nina traveled to Montreal to meet the widows. No stranger to games of passion, she solicited the widow's favor. Nina presented her father as a tribute to them. Nina has been a member ever since, using the name Black Lotus. Though not a Cathar, she has incorporated a number of Cathari beliefs into her own pursuit of power and the inner voice. Nina is a destroyer of ideas. She takes pleasure in stripping people, especially educated men, of their memories and everything they have learned. This has put her at odds with the librarians who want nothing short of her destruction. Nina has retained her youth and innocent appearance. She looks much younger than she really is. Don't all vampires do? Her delicate frame is deceiving, hiding the cruel monster that lurk within. Role-playing ends, you are best described as cunning. Your eyes, though seductive and alluring, are those of a predator. They search coldly for your next victim. You take great pleasure in seducing older gentlemen and women. Nina knows a substantial amount about the shepherds, especially from Raphael, who visit her on a regular basis. Unbeknownst to all of her customers, Nina has a habit of stealing their past, one memory at a time. She is from the serpent of the light, of a deviant nature, and a demeanor of a perfectionist. So that's it for the widows. The navigators. For secrets are edged tools and must be kept from children and from fools. John Dryden, Sir Martin Mahon. The navigators traveled the Great Lakes and St. Lawrence Seaway in a floating lair ship and are well known for their skill at raiding Camilla strongholds. The pack was formed in Portugal in the 1620s and moved to the New World in the 1720s. Its members served as pirates on the Brazilian coast and traveled across the Americas, finally making Montreal their winter home when a Portuguese community settled there after World War II. The navigators were led by Santiago de Soto, a powerful Sabbath warrior. The pack moved to Montreal to gain support of the shepherds of Cain. De Soto became a friend of the navigators, no, of the shepherds, and they encouraged him to join the Inquisition. The navigators were therefore thereafter left in the care of De Soto. Of De Soto's child, Miguel Santo Domingo. The trial of Archbishop Sangre brought De Soto back to Montreal, but it cost him his soul. The serpent stole De Soto's form and now works as De Soto each night. For his part, Miguel seeks unity in the sect and suspects his sire of some dark secret. The navigators oppose conspiracies in the Sabbath, including those of the Inquisition. They currently support Archbishop Valles, mostly out of distrust of the Black Hand and the shepherds. The navigators maintain a floating lair on a rusted cargo vessel called the Lisbon. The ship is thought to be derelict, but the pack quarters are well maintained. The Lisbon is crewed by two horribly deformed ghouls, and it drops anchors during the daylight. Burial at sea. The pack practice a unique variation on the creation rites called burial at sea. It entails binding candidates with heavy chains and dropping them into the water instead of burying them in fresh graves. The initiates must break free and return to the surface if they intend to survive and join the pack. The navigators still hold a grudge against Elias the Whale from the early 1970s, when would-be members were dropped off the Jacques-Cartier Bridge in Montreal and consumed by the wretched. Miguel Santo Domingo, pack priest. De Soto embraced Miguel, then a small-time bandit in 1920s Brazil, because he recognized a buccaneer who thought freedom from the laws of man as a vampire. Santo Domingo reveled in the Sabbath philosophies and joined the path of honorable accord. He soon sensed that his sire was only interested in his own power, though. De Soto brought the pack to Montreal in 1957, and he prepared his child to follow in his footsteps. Miguel became pack priest in 1969 when De Soto joined the Inquisition. He has reformed the navigators in his image, dedicating the pack to uncovering hidden agendas among the Sabbath. De Soto's secluded retirement only confirms Miguel's suspicion that his sire has dubious motives. A strapping 6'4" tall. I was like, foot inches, yes. 6'4" tall. Miguel is a dynamic figure. His cropped black hair tops a wide face. He has a quick smile and predatory eyes. He almost always dresses casually. Role playing. To be direct and straightforward, you are devious when necessary, but open among your pack and friends. You ride the wave of your frenzy with pleasure when slaying the enemies of the Sabbath. You are a bourgeois anti-tribute, pretty gallant, and director. The director. He was embraced in 1924. Celeste. Sorry. Oh. Celeste. The shepherd's Frère Marc embraced wildlife expert Celeste Lamontagne because of her almost religious appreciation of nature. Marc tried to introduce her to the path of nocturnal redemption, but a natural inclination drew her to the path of harmony. This difference created an awkward rift between sire and child. Celeste joined the Navigators in 1983 after befriending Miguel, whose philosophies jibed with her. They both dislike vampiric power games. A dedicated harmonist, she feels that kind knights should accept their natural place as predators rather than kingmakers. Celeste has become extremely loyal to the Navigators and accompanied them on many dangerous missions. She is particularly fond of wrecking Camilla's plan. She considers the sect and its antediluvian master to be the worst of all power mongers. Although Celeste spends much of her time traveling the forest of Quebec, Ontario, and New York State. She has made allies amongst the country gangrel of the area and has clashed with many Camilla gangrel. She has lost, no, no, not at all. She has also met several pines and has even been accepted by a few. During her last excursion into Garou territory, she shared a night of passion with her shapeshifter guide Jeremy Swiftrunner. When Celeste emerged from the soil the next night, Jeremy was gone and the scent of shame hung in the air. Celeste feels trapped in this city and looks for ways to vent her frustration. A glorious fighter, she has locked arms with several critics of the soft harmonists, including Spider of the Wretched and Caro of Les Orphelins. Celeste also gained some following as the leader of an informal alternative band known as the Wild Child. Put a Y in it. Celeste has a feral beauty. She is tall, muscular, and constantly ready to burst into action. She bears the marks of multiple frenzies, including pointed ears and eyes that reflect the light. Role-playing hints. Hints. You are free and comfortable with your existence. Some think you're weak, and you're more than happy to prove them wrong. Celeste is a friend of a few local lupines who have told her that they avoid Montreal because it's cursed ground. She is a gangrel, country gangrel, okay? Visionary but gallant from Generation 9. Ooh. She was embraced in 1979. Okay, I guess I can do Erini and Sangri the serpent. Erini. On 2 occasions, Celeste has assumed the Lupin Wolfman form while lost in battle fury. Okay. It's only 16 minutes, so yeah, I can do another 2. Erini. University student Margaret Moy fled to Detroit to escape her abusive father when a Sabbath gargoyle, looking for fodder for a war party, grabbed her off the streets. He abandoned her when she emerged from the ground in an uncontrollable rage. She made her way back to Montreal and Ezekiel discovered her. He guided her through the creation rite, welcomed her into 2517 and named her Erini, a variation of Fury. Erini's days in 2517 were bittersweet. She loved Ezekiel, whom she considered a savior, and felt camaraderie for the others, but her rage tore her apart. She joined the path of Cathari in search of relief, but became lost in the abandon of the Albigensian. Finally, her longing for Ezekiel became an obsession, and she attacked Soldat after he drew attention to her feelings. Ezekiel asked Reza Fatir to guide Erini on the structured path of honorable accord. Reza accepted, aware of the sacrifice that Ezekiel made by initiating a change in Erini that his own path deemed a weakness. Erini gained some control over her life as a result. Okay. She met Celeste after seeing the vampire perform at Angel's Falls. Finding that her hostility was soothed by music, Erini joined Wild Child. Reza and Ezekiel realized that the gargoyle was among her new friend. When she approached her patron with the prospect of traveling with the Navigators in 1996, they complied. Miguel Soto Domingo remains uncomfortable with Erini's tie to Ezekiel, but respects Celeste's refusal to condemn the gargoyle for her loyalty. Erini makes no attempt to hide her gargoyle nature. Standing on her toes like a canine, she is over 7 feet tall, which includes a 8-inch long arms. 8-inch long arms. Her grey wings stretch and sway as she walks. So that's so this is Celeste and this is Erini. Role-playing ins. You are quick to anger. It's all that you can do to suppress the urge to rip Malkavians and other annoying pests apart. Hey, don't do that. You find release in battle and music, but those pleasures pale in comparison to the love that lies in your dead heart. Erini knows that Ezekiel is not a pawn in a grand conspiracy, but is an astute, strong, and conscientious leader who can bring strength and freedom to Montreal. She is a gargoyle of martyr nature, and she has a deep enough bravado. Sangre the serpent in the guise of Santiago de Soto. De Soto's retirement from the Inquisition into seclusion surprised many and lent credibility to Miguel's suspicion that his sire was more than he appeared. Little does Miguel know that our right is, for the person he now calls De Soto, is the resting place for the soul of Sangre, former Archbishop of Montreal and convicted infernalist. When he was embraced in Haiti, Sangre was a member of the cult of Legba, which rejected the worship of Set. In the years before they joined the Sabbath, Serpent of the Light, like him, were desperate for aid against the Setit. Sangre found help in the Decani Brothel. I was going to say brothel. Botathel. The demon-plagued lord had ridden the waves of smallpox that exterminated the native of Hispaniola and held dominion over a temple in the hinterland of the island. In the temple, Sangre met a priestess of disease named Sedelia of the tongue, who taught him the ways of the Decani. Sangre made a deal with the fiend Bototel. He would spread a new form of corruption in exchange for power. He proposed to turn souls to Bototel through the plague of ambition, an infection that no other Decani claimed as its own. Sangre knew full well that the last soul he would serve up would be his own, unless he found a way to escape the pack. He found a way in Montreal. If Sangre's soul came due in Montreal, the prison of Metathiax, the demon would contest Prototel's claim. When word came from Montreal of the Sabbath's losing struggle against the city Gerard, Sangre, now a sect member, flew north. Still a servant of ambition, he rose to power as Archbishop of Montreal. He also corrupted several vampires and embraced a child named Ezekiel, whose ambition he hoped to fan to whose ambition he hoped to fan to world-shattering proportion. All the while he prepared his escape from infernal bondage. When Inquisitor de Soto uncovered his infernalism, Sangre wove a complex thaumaturgical rite into his very flesh. As his destruction approached, both hotels and Metathiax both... my eyes are closing. Both varied in anticipation of consuming his soul. When De Soto prepared to execute Sangre with fire, the serpent's rite was activated, and the Inquisitor's soul streamed out of the flame. In turn, Sangre's soul slipped into De Soto's body, and Sangre watched as his executioner was consumed and sent to the Decani. De Soto's memory still echoes in Sangre's new form. He hears the whisper of De Soto's ambition and conviction as a dedicated inquisitor. Sangre suppresses the thoughts of seizing power, though, knowing that any bid for more infernal might Might would damn him? Well, yeah. De Soto has therefore retired from the Inquisition and lives in seclusion in a Westmont mansion. As De Soto, why the capital letter there? He only occasionally partakes in the Voldery with the navigators. As the years pass, temptation grows. Sangri senses that the city will be consumed unless it finds strong leadership. He spends many nights sitting in his lair, staring at the black tome of dark thaumaturgy, trying to fight the urge to open it and rule again. The city's growing chaos and the return of the child have only made matters worse. Sangri planted. Sorry. Sangri planted the seed of evil in Ezekiel's at an early age, but now tries to figure. What the fuck? I'm tired, but I'm probably a bit dyslexic and tired. But now tries to protect his child. Ezekiel rejects all attention from his sire's executioner, and Pierre Bellemare has happily made Ezekiel an ally. The best Sangri can do is to keep Cairo away from Ezekiel, but he doesn't know that by doing so it does more harm than good. De Soto has long salt and pepper hair and a chiseled face. His dark brown eyes complemented his tan face, and a goatee hides his full lips. Sangri's dresses his body in finely tailored black clothes that hide the scars left by the duped Decani. De Soto's forms suffer from leprosy. Okay. Role-playing ends. Put up a front of control and calm. Beneath the surface, you long to return to power, to save the city and take your rightful place. It would be so easy. Sangri knows of Pierre Bellemare's infernalism and of the corruption of Bellemare's pact. Sangri also knows most of the other secrets in the city, but making use of them would be giving in to temptation. It's part of the serpent of the light, by nature architect, but he has a loner demeanor. Okay. Well, it's been 28 minutes. My eyes are closing, and I'm going to start Alfred Benezri and his supporters next time. I hope you enjoyed. I hope I was making a bit of sense. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I will refine those videos as I will keep on doing those lectures regularly to build up, practice, build up, and check what else I can do with it. That's why I'm kind of distracted when I'm read, because I'm thinking about other stuff as well, whether it's personal, like going to Egypt, or back to France, because I can't stay, I don't want to stay in Canada forever, and now that we can work from anywhere, I'm considering just traveling again and again while still trying to work. We'll see. But I also invite you to check all the other profiles where I um, share stuff about my game. I will probably, like I've been thinking for the last few nights, that I need to, well, I've been thinking that for a long time, to practice my drawing skills. And so I want to kind of, when I go through that book again next time, I would love to be able to draw those characters and practice that. That would be cool. So then I can put them in LFD. So that's gonna take a while. That's another thing that I'm gonna be probably working on. Um, and so if you want to support that, support my art, support my game, support my life project, I invite you to give a couple of dollars on Patreon, or just even one time via itch.io if you play the game, or through PayPal if you just want to give $5 coffee or whatever, and that would be really appreciated. I'm hopefully gonna be able to finish that Patreon post soon. I need to do an art shout out and update the cast, because since the last time I believe I have 4 new voices, so that's pretty good. Once all the voices will be done, well, I'm saying once, but I'm not gonna wait for that to happen, but I will need to ramp up a bit more dialogues. So that's gonna be an interesting new, well, not new, but I really want to get more lines in. I want to start really having that French and English option, because I think that's really what makes the game even more unique, by having that mixity of languages. So I really want that to be part of it. But first I need to polish some other stuff, I guess. Make sure the story, the main quest, is put together properly, because if I don't have the main quest, I won't be able to work around it. And I want to finish that first main quest so I can also develop the other potential endings, because I want to have 6 different endings. It's gonna be, I need to stop designing. I really need to start producing more and more, because now that I have settled a bit in Montreal for now, I would need to really make the best of those couple of months that I'm gonna be here for, and hopefully things will get better soon. But yeah, if you can spare a couple of dollars a month, that would be amazing. I will go to bed and get rested, because it's been a big day. I have an interview next Tuesday, plus many different talk to attend, so that's exciting. But at the same time, if the things are online, like I'm saying, I could be in Plombois, enjoying the mountains, keep on working on my stuff, and survive like that. So I'm considering I'm looking at jobs in Canada, but I'm also considering not staying. I'll come back for diversity, like July, August, and then the rest of the time I can go somewhere else. That would be good. Um, so yeah, that will be it. I will get back to you probably tomorrow and do Alfred Benezri and his supporters. Let's keep working on that one bite at a time. It is the time that we need to develop and do that thing that makes us happy, right? So if you want to provide some freedom to a tortured artist, traveler, wanderer like me, please feel free to drop $1 a month. That would be amazing.